And welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Sorry for the inconsistency, but I'm back. Hopefully, I can be more consistent this time. And with this new channel format, which is more just mainly Miami videos, and every week I'll do an NFL podcast, which will be about the reviewing last week's games, going over what happened in the games, and next week's predictions and the main headlines surrounding the NFL. But most of the videos will be Miami related. The first one is about trade possibilities. The trade deadline is coming up, so I thought this video made sense to make. So here we go. First one, obvious one, Deshaun Watson. This trade rumor has been circulating around Hard Rock Stadium for pretty much the whole season. There's been a couple of teams linked with him. Like at the start of the year, it was Miami and Philadelphia. Then it was Miami and Denver. Then it was Miami and Carolina. But Miami is always in the talks. They're always there. And you just have to make this trade. I'll go more in depth in the video that I'll make, which will be not the next one, but the video after the next one. But you have to make he's an elite quarterback. He's a young quarterback. He's a franchise quarterback. Get him at the club. Tua is not a franchise quarterback. Tua, very injury prone. I do love the guy, but he has not got what it takes to lead this Miami team to a Super Bowl. So I think you flank him off. The reasons that in my opinion, the reasons the Deshaun Watson trade has not gone through yet is the draft capital and when he will get back to playing. That is, for me, I'm not taking that into consideration. Draft capital, couldn't care less. We can get some of that draft capital back with Tua. Tua will probably go for like a first round pick. But then when he's going to get back to playing, maximum will be 2 years. At the max. And if it's past 2 years, it will be pretty unfair to Deshaun Watson. So I think max is 2 years. He'll still be young in 2 years' time. So I think I think you just have to get the deal through. Look at Deshaun Watson. He will help our offense loads. Our offensive scheme right now is absolutely shocking. Everybody is coming really short. The guy that's running the deepest is Malik Collins, who's a tight end who just switched to wide receiver. All our big weapons are within 20 yards of the quarterback. Jalen Waddle, deep threat wide receiver. I don't mind what he's doing. He can do that, but let him run some deep routes. Devontae Parker, why is he just running slant routes and comeback routes? Let him run deeper. Mike Gesicki, obviously, yeah, keep him there. That's where he thrives. But if you bring in a guy like Deshaun Watson who's got a deeper arm, he will help people like Jalen Waddle and Devontae Parker thrive. They're both better in the deep field. So Devontae Parker just makes a lot more sense. Before the season, Brian Flores even said he wants to have an offensive scheme where it's longer plays but deeper. That's not happened at all. There have been shorter plays and shorter time length. So the scheme that Brian Flores wants to make literally describes Deshaun Watson to a T. So do it. Bring him in. Draft capital isn't really our issue. We've got loads of draft picks thanks to the brilliant trades that we have been doing the last couple of seasons. So I think this trade makes so much sense, and I do it. As I said, I will go more into depth in my video about him in 2 videos time. Next one, a running back. We need a running back. It's Ronald Jones. The only real running backs that will be traded are ones that are in a 2 running back scheme offense. Ronald Jones is in that 2 running back scheme offense, and he has come out of the worst of the 2 running backs. Other running back being Leonard Fournette. He's getting most of the touches. Ronald Jones is getting like 20 yards a game. One game I think he had 80 yards. But that is just not good enough. Ronald Jones, for me, is a good back. Last year, he's capable of getting 1,000 yards. Last year, he had 978, pretty much 1,000. Give him the ball and trust him. I think he can be a very good running back. You're not giving up that much draft capital, so it's a low risk and potentially a high reward. And we've seen before, sometimes he has absolutely monster games. If you can give him like 5 of those monster games in a season, you're cooking on gas. So, yeah, I think this trade makes a lot of sense. Look at our running back core right now, very weak, one of the worst in the league. Myles Gaskin, I like him, but he's a receiving back. I think I'd like to keep him at the club because I think he has he's got value at the club. Him as a receiving back is very good. He gets a lot of yards from screenplay, so keep him there. But don't rely on him 1st and 10. Why is he running 1st and 10? Every time it's 1st and 10, he doesn't gain yards. He loses yards. Salvin Ahmed, yeah, I like him as well, but let's be honest, he doesn't really cut it. And Malcolm Perry is absolutely minging. His highlight of the year, his highlight of his whole career will be that Raiders touchdown and only that Raiders touchdown. His peak was a 700-yard season. He's rubbish. Yeah, he did all right against the Jags, but anybody could do all right against the Jags. He only got 60 yards. Tom Brady could run 60 yards against the Jags. He's a fraud. He's absolute rubbish. Ronald Jones will be 10 times better than him. Malcolm Berry's a power back, so is Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones, 10 times better. So I feel like it makes sense. The maximum we're going to be paying for him is probably, like a 4th round pick? Just get the deal done. Look at the Rams. They got Sonny Michel for a 6th round pick and a 7th round pick, and we're getting Ronald Jones, who's better than Sonny Michel. So just do the trade. I think it makes so much sense. And yeah, next one is La'el Collins, Dallas right tackle. I feel like if we bring in Deshaun Watson, offensive line needs to improve to help Deshaun Watson maintain his playing style, which has been in the pocket for quite a long time. And obviously he can do it with a bad offensive line. That's how good he is. But give him more time. More time for Deshaun Watson equals more yards for Deshaun Watson. That's how he sort of works. And La'el Collins will definitely give him more time. He's a great offensive lineman. The reason and if you're saying, oh, why, if he's such a great offensive lineman, why'd they trade him? Because this guy gets so much hate from the NFL. He's always on drug charges when there's people doing a lot worse drug charges. So if he's got drug charges, maybe Dallas will just say, oh, just let him go. Let him go. Practically their GM is Jerry Jones, but he's their owner. We know he can make some rash decisions. I think you could probably max. You're going to be putting up a draft capital as like 2 second-round picks. I think that's good. We've got a lot of picks, as I said before, from the great trades we've been doing in the last few years. La'el Collins will help our offensive line loads. And obviously, if we did Ronald Jones, it will help Ronald Jones as well. Offensive line, very important position. Offensive line is sort of coming together a bit now. That we do still get, there is still a lot of pressure coming towards to it, but it is better than it was before. And Liam Eichenberg is having a good start to the season, which is good to see. But La'el Collins will help it a lot, so that's why I put him in there. And then he's still young. He is still a very young player. He came out of, I think, the 2014 or 2015 draft class. Maybe not, but I think he came out of one of those 2 draft classes. So yeah, he's still pretty young. Still got about 5 years in him. So yeah, I think La'el Collins makes a lot of sense, and there's not that high chance of this trade happening. It's pretty wild out there, but there is reasoning to say this. He's had a lot of drug charges, so maybe Dallas will let him go. Next trade, and the final trade, is about Deion Jones, who I think could be an absolute steal for Miami. I think this trade would be so good. Ever since the loss of Cal Van Noy, our whole defense has been shocking. Obviously, secondary, I can understand. Javon Howard and Byron Jones, they're both gone. We've had a lot of deep plays gone to us, and Byron Jones did lock that down before, and Javon Howard did lock it down as well. Not as, obviously, he was more playing like a free role, Javon Howard, because of how much we were blitzing. But the secondary isn't what I'm concentrating on right now. I think a lot of people are giving criticism to Brian Flores, saying, look, you flanked all this money into the defense and they're playing shocking. I think it's injuries. I think we'll be back. When they're back, we'll be a better defense. But the run-in, there's no doubt that has got worse. And it's because of the loss of Cal Van Noy. I don't know why we released him. For me, it baffles me why I released him. But Deion Jones is there. A guy that gets 100 tackles every year. And again, people saying, why would the Atlanta trade him? To get picks. They need picks. They need a rebuild. Matt Ryan, they're going to get a new quarterback. Matt Ryan, he's past his prime ever since that loss in the Super Bowl. He's not recovered. So they need to get some picks, and getting rid of guys like Deion Jones and their best players is a good way to get picks. The real players on their team that will acquire draft capital is Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, and Calvin Ridley. The sort of obvious option in that people is Deion Jones. It will cost a lot, probably a first round pick and more. But it makes so much sense. We are a team that will win on defense. This will help our defense loads. Dion Jones, he's 27, but he's a leader of men. It will help a lot of the young people in our defense, because our defense is very young. Javon Holland, Noah Igbonagene, and there's still guys like Christian Wilkins, who is still very young. So yeah, I think this makes I think you get this deal done. Well, it is one of the more out of the trades that I've gone forward. The 4 trades I've put them in. So Fast was the least. Was the most likely, and going down in likeliness down the list. I think if one of these trades get done before the trade deadline, I will be absolutely chuffed. I think all these trades make a lot of sense. All these trades add something to Miami Dolphins. So yeah, that was my trade ideas. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.